I found satisfaction in being able to find gravestones and kind of pull those names back to the surface, so to speak.
We are cleaning off our family plot as we have been since we were children. We have 3 generations out here today. I want it to be important to them like it is to me.
For them to have as much of a understanding of who their grandparents and great-grandparents were and how we felt about them.
Everybody in this graveyard has a story. It's for us to make sure that it wasn't in vain. They fought a good fight.
I'm gonna need a little water.
I am Jarene Fleming Jr., and this is my sister, Jarene Blanche Fleming.
Oh, you didn't have to say the Blanche.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Grandma would like that, though.
I am a Richmond native. I'm legacy here. I'm history. I am a walking and breathing descendant of Evergreen Cemetery.
When I grew up here in Richmond and came to both cemetery, we had fruit trees. We had honeysuckles. We had a picnic here. And we would take care of not only our cemetery plot, but the person next to us, in front of us, all around.
I feel like your ancestors helped make you who you are today. They raised the people who raised you.
Cemeteries like this, we need to care for them as extensions of our community. In my mind, I mean, caring for people in death is just as important as caring for people in life.
I think it's important for younger generations to draw inspiration from these people, understand who they were. Being the state they are, that's really hard to do. And it's really hard to take pride in that history if it looks the way that it does.
Each one is kind of like maybe the cover to a book, and there's stories all over the place here. And it's important to, maintaining the grounds and making sure people know about this place and making sure people know about the stories of Black Americans that weren't told in the past. And that should be told because they add to the fabric of the history of Richmond and Virginia and the country as a whole.
You have ancestors that forged and fought the way for you to have it. So you need to know those stories. You need to know that there were Black contractors and Black business owners and Black bankers and Black hair care product owners.
This was the only place they could go to be buried. This is why the land was purchased, so they would have somewhere to go to be buried. And that makes it more important than anything, that we step up. Everybody should have their hands in this. It's a community thing. That's all it is. It's about helping preserve history.
You can pull it out, bitch.
As it seems, my third great-grandmother is likely buried somewhere at these 2 cemeteries in terms of the proximity of where she had resided before she died around 1949, 1950. I know that I'm not the only person who kind of exists in this weird limbo space where I literally may be within 100 feet of where my grandmother is buried right now and have absolutely no idea. And that's difficult coming from a family that takes memorialization and burial processes very seriously. There's 76 acres here between these 2 cemeteries, and that's an incredible amount of space for a small amount of people to have to try and take care of by themselves. And if there is no systematic way of dealing with it, the earth will just, overtake it.
I remember being a young guy with my family coming to visit, and the state of the cemetery always seemed to be in a disarray.
I have been down here, which I had to climb over trees and under trees to get to this plot. And it's not that far off the road. We're lucky. A lot of the families further in, they just gave up.
Well, now that we've gotten to a point where there seems to be this awakening of inequity that has existed for hundreds of years, there really should be the same sorts of efforts to restore this area and recognize it as other areas that are maintained consistently.
There needs to be either state or ideally federal legislation that across the board protects African American cemeteries from this happening.
I want to see respect for the people who weren't respected when they were alive, whose bodies aren't being respected now, and their descendants aren't being respected by the way this place is being taken care of.
It has to be a community effort, and as a primary part, the people who have folks buried, their descendants, the people that have the connection to DNA that's here, they need to be part of that process, to be at the forefront of that process.
I know at the bare basic, it needs to be clean and well tended regularly, and it shouldn't befall the families that have to take on the entirety of the responsibility to do that.
It should be a green paradise for the once living people, the once living family members, the once living ancestors.
This is perpetual care in the wide meaning of perpetual.
I think this should be a place where people can spend regular time, where they can kind of connect as a family, both with their living relatives and those that are no longer with us.
Like they took care of us, we should be taking care of them and make sure that they are honored from generations to come.
I like to see this place uplifted, these people to be recognized. As much restoration as possible can be done to them, and to recognize how strong you had to be to live through institutional bondage and Jim Crow and segregation and Reconstruction. I mean, it's phenomenal.
I'm gonna do everything I can while I'm alive to create some type of stability for the cemeteries. But just in case it becomes a forest again, they'll know where we are. They'll know where our people are.
One thing you're going to get here is see something that was once neglected come back to life. And once was forgotten, you have new life breathed into it.
You are a legacy. You are part of a powerful history. And it started right here in places like Richmond, Virginia, Evergreen Cemetery.
Even though it's a cemetery, life can still be breathed into this place.